All right, everybody. As you may have gathered, this is our tribute to Star Wars here on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And in our case, it is May the Forsch be with you. And we have a game between the Astros and the Cardinals from 1975 replay baseball. And it is Brothers Forsch opposing each other. Ken Forsch and Bob Forsch. This was not an actual game because while Bob Forsch did start this game against the Astros on June 6, 1975, Ken Forsch did not. So I'm replacing the person that started the game for him. I believe it might have been J.R. Richard, and I'm putting in Ken Forsch so we can have this epic battle on May the Forsch be with you day. So all those frivolities out of the way. Can now get down to playing replay baseball. Haven't played replay baseball in a couple of weeks. Been doing a lot of strat, obviously, and some history maker for the friends of the community. So now it's time to get back into the replay baseball board game. As I get the play board all set up for us. And I'm not going to be able to read off. I'm not going to be able to show this on camera on the board. I'll just have to read it as it occurs. So what we've got here, we've got, like I said, a replay of the game played on June the 6th, 1975. And starting lineups, first for the Redbirds is Lou Brock in left, Ted Sizemore at second, batting second. Willie Davis is in right field hitting third. Reggie Smith's at first base today, giving Keith Hernandez a day off, so he's batting cleanup. Ted Simmons is catching and hitting fifth. Bake McBride's in center hitting sixth. Ken Reitz is at third base hitting seventh. Giving Gary Templeton a day off is Mario Guerrero, the shortstop, and then Bob Forsch on the mound. For the Astros, it'll be Greg Gross leading off in left field, Roger Metzger at short, Cesar Cedeno in center, Bob Watson at first, Milt May catching, Jose Cruz in right, Doug Rader at third, Tommy Helms at second, and Ken Forsch on the bump for the Stros. Got the bigger dice in here so I can see things a little bit better. And we will get everything switched around here. We'll bring the ballpark card in there when it's needed. Right now I'm just going to concentrate on the pitching matchup at hand. And it's going to be Ken Forsch taking on Lou Brock. As we said, it's the May the Forsch be with you. So we'll see if the Forsch is with either of the Forsches here at the Astrodome. And I think we've got everything set up the way we need it, and we're just about ready to get going. Without further ado, here is Lou Brock, and it's always a good idea to keep him off the base paths. Lou Brock, a 6.25. So Brock, a 6.2 is a 41, and a 6.5 is a 3. That's a 44. 44 is a line drive base hit to left, and the chart says runner advances one base on a single. Chance for extra bases, roll die against the outfielder's defensive rating. The die is higher, score a double, and runner advance two bases. So the blue die is a 5, which means we're checking the center fielder. And in this case, that is Cedeno. Cedeno is a 4 rated center fielder. So when we roll one die, if it's a 5 or 6, then that means Brock will stretch it to a double. If it's 4 or less, he'll hold it as a single. And he will hold with that single. All right, so Lou Brock is aboard. Did steal 56 bases, and it's usually automated base stealing in this game, but there's also an option to manually steal. So I'll turn to that in the book right here. It says here, we've already mentioned the option of calling your own steals in the section in the rules on stolen bases. Here's another variation when you're using the automatic. Oh, that's using automatic, my bad. Let's get to the, where's the part about your own steals? I don't usually do my own steals, I usually do the automatic, so I've got a, here we go. Stolen bases. It says here, you can choose to call your own steals using the action chart. Each player has a stolen base letter next to his speed rating. So in this case, Lou Brock's letter here is a C. And it says here, and a raised number next to the stolen base letter, that's a 6. So we got a C and a 6. If the next base is open, use the runner's raised number and refer to the stolen base jump chart to see if he attempts the steal. All right, so we'll go to the stolen base jump chart, and we'll see if it's in fact a stolen base. So the stolen base jump chart is right here under the action chart. Right in here, the runner's jump rating, the pitcher's hold rating. Okay, the pitcher's hold rating, Forsch, his hold rating is a 2, and Brock's jump rating is a 6. So a 6 and a 2 means he's got to go, means he attempts to steal. So that means he's going to get to steal. All right, so we established the fact that he got the jump. Now let's look at what happens next. If he does, then refer to the action chart using his stolen base letter. Okay, well, we'll go back to the action chart using his stolen base letter. All right. Now, where is the stolen base letter? I don't see that. Oh, up here, I guess the letter. He is a C, so that means we're using this letter right here. This is what I'm reading anyway. That we're going to use this letter C and roll the dice and see if he steals the base, is picked off with an error, there's a pass ball, so forth. So we're going to roll the 2d6s, red and white. We get an 8, and an 8 on C says POE, and POE says possible error on a pickoff attempt. Roll against the pitcher's error rating. All right, the pitcher's error rating is a 22. So if this is higher than a 22, it'll be a pickoff error. And it is, it's a 46. So that means that Lou Brock flustered Ken Forsch, and he has just allowed Brock to go to second by trying to pick him off, and got by Reggie Smith. Got by Bob Watson long enough for Lou Brock to get to second. So after all those shenanigans, he actually makes it to second base. He's at second with nobody out. And that'll bring up Ted Sizemore. So that's where the manual steals can come into play. Like I said, I usually do the automated steals, but just to show you the manual, we do it in the manual. And I'm kind of learning with it too at the same time. 2-5, if I did it incorrectly, somebody please tell me. 2-5 for Sizemore is a 16. 2-2 for Forsch is a 3. That's a 19 in column 2, and that is a fly out to center field. And runners hold. Runner at second base has to hold. So Sizemore is gone. Here's Willie Davis. Davis, a 4-4, and that's a number 4. And a 4-6 is the second baseman. Second baseman is Tommy Helms. He's a 2. So we take the 2 and the 4, make it a 6. Infield is back because the runner's at second, so it's a simple ground out. But with the ground ball going to second, that means Brock will go to third on the ground out. But now there's 2 outs, and it's up to Reggie Smith. The Cardinals are going to break through. 1-6 is a 45, and a 45 is a strikeout unless the infield's a double play death, which it's not. So it's a strikeout to end the top of the first. So sorry that top of the first is a little cumbersome while I was working on that manual steal. The game normally does not take, normally it flows much better than what I was fumbling through there at first, but hopefully you'll bear with me. Now Bob Forsch is back out, and he'll be facing Greg Gross. 4-3 for Gross is a 2. 4-2 is a second baseman. Second baseman in this case for the Cardinals is Sizemore. He's a 3. That's a total of 5, and that's an easy ground out, 4-3. 1 away. And that brings up Roger Metzger of the Stros. 6-4 for Metzger is a 31. 6-6 is a 4. That's a total of 35. And a 35 is a fly out to left. So there's 2 away, 2 up, 2 down for Cesar Cedeno. That's a 5-2. That's a 1 with an asterisk, which means he would attempt to steal if he reaches, but he may not reach. 5-1 is a 1. I'm sorry, 5-2 is a 1. 5-2 is a 1. It's a total of 2. That's a ground out to first, and the inning is over. So no threat of steal there as he didn't reach. So at the end of 1, it is no score from the Dome. I'll go ahead and put the Astrodome back here just so you can see it. All right, now Ted Simmons will lead things off against Ken Forsch. 5-4 for Simmons is a 27. 5-1 is a 1. It's a 28. 28 is in column 5 is a fly out to right field. So 1 away. Simmons is gone. Here's Bake McBride. 4-6 is an 18. 4-5 is the shortstop, and in that case that's Metzger. It's a 2. That makes it a 20. So a 20 in column 2 is a ground out, but it's a potential. You got an umpire check here. 1 through 6 on a D6 roll, he's safe. Anything other than a 1 or a 6, and Metzger will make the play. It's a 3, so Metzger does throw him out. 2 down. Ken Reitz. All triple 5s. 5-5's a 15. 5-5's a 3. It's an 18 in column 5, and that is an infield single. And we're going to go to the M chart, the action chart, column M, to see what Ken Reitz or the pitcher may do. So column M on the action chart, we'll roll all 3 dice, read the red and white. That's a 10. So 10 on M is a potential pass ball. Checking the blue die, and it says here if the blue die is higher than the catcher's pass ball rating, it's a pass ball. That's a 3. The catcher pass ball rating in this case is a 0 on Milt May, so that means it will be a pass ball. So Milt May lets one get by him. So now runners at second with 2 outs for Mario Guerrero, Super Mario. Maybe not so super. 5-4 is a 27. 5-6 is a 3. That's a 30. And a 30 in column 5 is a fly out to center, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Redbirds. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. The Forsch is not with anybody right now. It's with the Forsches. So here's Bob Watson. 5-2 is a 32. 5-5 is a 3. It's a 35 in column 5, and that is a strikeout. So 1 away. And Bob Watson has the distinction of scoring the 1 millionth run in baseball history. Did that in 1977. I guess that's his claim to fame. Here's Milt May. 5-2 is a 1 with a K. That's an action chart possibility, but he has to reach first, and he probably won't. 5-2 is a 1. 5-4 is a 2. It's a total of 3, and that means it's just a ground ball to second, so no action chart to look up because he didn't reach. 2 down for Jose Cruz. 6-4 for Cruz is a 58, so that's going to do some damage. 6-5 is a 3. That's a 61. 61 is a double into the right field corner. So Jose Cruz, a 2-out double. And that sets things up for Doug Rader to possibly break through. 5-1 is a 3. 5-6 is a 4. That's a total of 7. And that will be a base on balls. So that's a walk to Rader. Puts 2 on. 2 outs for Tommy Helms. Forsch to Helms. 1-3 is a 2. 1-3 is a 3. It's a total of 5, and that's a strikeout. So Bob Forsch gets out of it. The Forsch was with him, and he got out of that jam. We go to the third. Still no score. And we'll get Forsch against Forsch, as Bob Forsch is going to lead off the inning against his brother Ken. Bob Forsch has his own pitcher hitting card. He hit .308 on the season, so no slouch by any means. 3-5 is a 30, and a 3-3 is a 3. It's a 33 in column 3, and that is a line out to center field. 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Lou Brock. 1-6 is a 45. That's a strikeout. When the bases are empty, it's definitely a strikeout. Here's Ted Sizemore. 1 6, that's a 5. 1 4, that is a 3. Total of 8, and that's a pop out to third base. Fielded over there by Mr. Cabell. I'm sorry, Mr. Rader. And the inning is over. I'm thinking Enos Cabell. It's actually Doug Rader that's playing this game. Cabell's on the bench. All right, we go to the bottom of the third, and now the roles are reversed. Bob Forsch will be pitching to Ken Forsch. So let's see if Ken Forsch is nowhere near as good a hitter as his brother is. It's only a 0.45 average. Of course, that means he's going to get a hit. 3-3 is a 5. 3-3 is a 2. That's a 7 in column 3, and he does get a hit. That's a single. So just what the doctor ordered and just what I proclaimed by talking about what a bad hitter he was, he goes and gets a single. Go figure. All right, here's Greg Gross. 2-1 is a 37. 2-1 is a 3. That's a 40 in column 2, and that is a ground out shortstop to first. And it says the runner advances. It's also an error injury check, but I'm not doing injuries, so it's just going to be a simple ground out short with the runner advancing. So Gross, it almost acts like a sacrifice bunt, although that was not his intention. It serves the same purpose. Here's Metzger. Switch hitter, 2-4. It's a 16. 2-3 is a 3, makes it a 19, and that is a fly to center. Out number 2. It'll be up to Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno, 4-6 is a 3. 4-1 is the first baseman, and that is Reggie Smith. He is a 3. Total of 6, so he'll take it to the bag himself to end the inning. So nothing doing through 3 innings for either team. We go to the 4th, no score from the Dome. Now Ken Forsch back out. We'll be facing Willie Davis. Started the season in Texas, got sent over to St. Louis by this time of the season, which was in June. 5-5 is a 40. 5-2 is a 1. It's a total of 41, and that's a hit by a pitch. So 41, he gets plunked. Willie Davis gets plunked by Ken Forsch. And that'll bring up Reggie Smith. 6-3 for Reggie. It's a 16. 6-2 is a 2. It's an 18. 18 is a deep fly out to right, and that's one away. So that's going to bring up Ted Simmons, switch hitting catcher. 2-3. 2-3 is a 30. I'm sorry, 2-3 is a 16. 2-2 is a 3. It's a 19, and that is a fly out to center. Out number 2, it's up to Bake McBride. 2-1 is a 33. 2-6 is a 4. It's a 37. That's another ground out where there are injuries involved, but we're not playing injuries. It's a ground out back to the mound. And the inning's over. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still no score here at the Dome. And now the other Forsch, the other white meat, comes out. Bob Watson on the mound, or at the plate. Struck out his first trip. 1-5, he might do it again. 1-5 is a 5. 1-1 is a 3. It's an 8, so he won't strike out. It's a pop out to third instead. Handled by Ken Reitz. One away. Here's Milt May, the catcher. 5-3. 5-3 is a 2. 5-6 is a 4. It's a total of 6 in column 5, and that is a walk. So that is a base on balls for Milt May. He's aboard for Jose Cruz. 1-3 is a 3. 1-1 is a 3. It's a 6. 6 in column 1 is a strikeout, so that's 2 down. And it'll be up to Doug Rader. 2-6, and then we finally got into the shaded area with the ballpark. Ray's number is a 1, but now we're coming over here to this column, and we're looking at column 2, so we're going to re-roll 1d6 and see what the number is and see if that number changes. It's a 4, which means that number changes to a 2. So if you roll a 4, it turns to a 2. So it was a 1, now it's a 2. And I think just about any outfielder is going to have a higher range than 2, but we'll just double check all the St. Louis outfielders. They all do. They all have at least a 3, so that's a good play. And the 6, blue being a 6, on this result means it was caught by the left fielder. So in that case, Lou Brock had enough range, and he was able to make the catch to end the inning. So that's where the Astrodome did not help the offense at all with that ballpark effect, as you might expect. Get a lot of low-scoring games in the Dome. All right, Ken Forsch back on the bump, facing Ken Reitz. Battle of the Kens. Where's Ken Castro when we need him? 2-1. 2-1 is a 43. 2-3 is a 3. It's a 46. And again, that's in the injury area, but not doing injuries, so it's simply a ground ball to short. And in fact, Ken Reitz has a raised number here because he played 161 games, so he probably would not get injured either way because he's got that raised number. That would prevent him from being injured anyway. 1-5 is a 35. 1-3 is a 3. It's a 38 in column 1. It's ground ball to third. So Guerrero grounds it to Rader for out number 2. And now here comes Bob Forsch. Forsch against Forsch. 6-3 is a 36, and 36 in column 6s are always strikeouts, regardless, doesn't matter. It's 100% fact. No exceptions whatsoever. So I could be pitching if the guy rolled a 36, I'd strike him out. So here we go. Bottom of the 5th, here's Tommy Helms. 5-6 is a 6. 5-4, I'm sorry, 5-6 is a 1. My bad. 5-6 is a 1. I was thinking 5-5 here. 5-6 is a 1. 5-4 is a 2. That's a total of 3. It's ground ball to second. And that's fielded by Mr. Sizemore over there. One away. Here's Ken Forsch. He's actually singled his last trip. 5-1 is a 5. 5-6 is a 4. It's a total of 9. He's actually going to walk. So he will walk. So how about that? Ken Forsch has reached base twice. Single and now a walk. And here's Greg Gross. 4-2 is a 3. This might be a double play. 4-3 is a third baseman Reitz. Reitz is a 2. A 2 and a 3 is a 5. Infield halfway. If it's 2 through 6, it's a double play. So the 5 certainly qualifies. It is a 5-4-3 around the horn. Double play. And we've played 5 innings here at the Dome with no score. So the Forsch is with the Forsches for sure. Certainly not with the hitters. Maybe they're using lightsabers because they're not getting much done. Here's Lou Brock. 6-1 is a 31. 6-2 is a 2. It's a 33. And that's going to be a pop out to second. So Brock pops it sky high. Fielded by Helms. One away. Ted Sizemore, the batter. 6-3 is a 31. 6-4 is a 3. It's a 34. And that's going to be a short fly out to center field. Taken by Cedeno. 2 up, 2 down for Willie Davis. 5-6 is a 27. 5-6 is a 3. That's a total of 30. And a 30 is a fly out to center field. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Cards. We go to the bottom of the 6th, no score. Bob Forsch will be facing Roger Metzger, Cesar Cedeno, and Bob Watson. 3-2. 3-2 is a 2. 3-5 is a 3. A total of 5 in column 3. That's a fly to left. One away. Here is Cedeno. 1-3 is a 2. 1-1 is a 3. It's a total of 5 in column 1, and anything less than 6 is a strikeout. So 2 up, 2 down, and here is Bob Watson. 1-2 is a 35. 1-5 is a 3. That's a 38. And that's a ground out to third, handled by Reitz. And 6 innings are in the books very quickly. No score. We go to the 7th. And both pitchers have 7 on their fatigue rating, but pitching a shutout could give them a boost. So we'll see how long they can go. Here's Reggie Smith. All 1s, triple 1s. 1 is a 20, and 1 is a 2. It's a 22 in column 1, and that 22 in column 1 is a single with a possible error. The blue die is a 1, which means it's the left fielder. So we're checking the error rate of Greg Gross. And Greg Gross is an error rate of 23. So we're going to roll 1 die, or roll the 2 dice against the error rating of 23. It's a 41, so he does make the error. So it says here, all runners advance an extra base. So in this case, Reggie Smith's going to lead off with a single, and then he will take second on the E7. So error on Greg Gross. And the Cardinals are in business. Runner at second, nobody out. Here's Ted Simmons. 5-6 is a 1 with a K. 5-4 is a 2. That's a total of 3. 3 in column 5 is a grounder to second. And with the infield back, runners advance. So with it being hit to the right side, it's just a ground ball to second. But now Reggie Smith makes it over to third with only 1 out. The infield's going to have to come in against McBride. 2-4. 2-4 is a 5. 2-3 is a 3. It's a total of 8. And 8 in column 2 is a foul out to third. So he will foul out to third, and that will keep the runner right where he is. 2 down, but it's up to Ken Reitz. 5-2 is a 27. 5-2 is a 1. It's a 28. 28 is a fly out to right field. And the inning is over. So Ken Forsch pitches around the error, the single in the error. Picks up his teammate Cruz. And 7th inning stretch time, it'll be Bob Forsch back out on the bump, facing Milt May. Milt come what may. 2-4. 2-4 is a 19. 2-4 is the shortstop, and that's Guerrero. He is a 2. So a 19 and a 2 is a 21, which means we're going back to the umpire check. This time, if it's a 1 or a 6, he's out. Anything else, anything else, Milt May will beat it out. So 1 or a 6, he's out. Anything else, he's safe. And he beat it out. So Milt May put 1 in the hole. Guerrero arranged to get it, but couldn't put enough on the throw to get him out. So here's Jose Cruz. 1-1 is a 1. 1-4 is a 3. That's a strikeout. Anything less than 6 total. And that was a total of 4. So that is a strikeout. 1 away. Maybe should have bunted there. You never know. Here's Doug Rader. 1-1. That's a 1. 1-6 is a 4. That's another strikeout. So Bob Forsch. The Forsch strikes back with 2 straight strikeouts. Here's Helms. Now the next batter is Ken Forsch. You wonder, he's been on base twice, so I don't think they're going to pinch hit for him. 1-3 is a 2. This is like another strikeout. 1-4 is a 3. It's total of 5. And so Bob Forsch strikes out the side. So Bob Forsch strikes back. And we go to the 8th. We go to the 8th. No score. Here's Mario Guerrero. 3-1 is a 4. 3-4 is a 3. It's a total of 7. And that's going to be a base hit. So when you have higher numbers here, you give up base hits. If you get 1s, the good pitchers have 1s and 2s here. He's got 3s and 4s. And by finding that 3, it's a base hit for Guerrero. And that's going to allow Bob Forsch to bunt. He will now get a chance to bunt. So let's pull up the old bunt chart. Let's find the bunt chart, which is on the back of our fold out. So let's get that going here. Bunt play. So let's look at the bunt rating. Bob Forsch's bunt rating is a 2. So we come over here, sacrifice bunt 2, and they're in because they're expecting it. So we're going to be on this, looking at this column right here, rolling 2 D6s plus the blue die to see who fields it. We get a 9. And a 9 is a pop out. So look at that. He couldn't get the sacrifice done. It's actually a pop out. And second, the blue die being a 2 is the pitcher. So he popped it up. Forsch popped it up to his brother. So how about that? One Forsch to another Forsch. And unsuccessful sacrifice. So it's just a 1. Very unusual score there on the score sheet. Just a 1. I guess you can call it a P1. All right, here's Lou Brock. 6-6. That got that 6 at the last second. And that's going to help Brock. Look at this. He is an 8 right now because he's facing a right-hander. So since this has a possibility of a home run, we will use the ballpark. Had it been a 16, we would not go to the ballpark to change this. But since this is a chance for a home run, we are going to go to the ballpark. So we go to the Astrodome, column 6. Look at column 6 right here. Roll. Lou Brock's a lefty, so let's see what we get. It's a 6, so that means that since the die was a 6, that makes that an 8. It was already 8, so nothing changed. That is an 8 all the way. And a 6-1 on Forsch is a 2. That makes it a 10. So a 10 is simply a single. Had it been an 11 or higher, it would have been a chance for a home run. And with a runner already at first, the 10 on a single says runners advance 1 base. So that's all. So runners are at first and second now. And Ken Forsch, I'd like to get him through this inning because he leads off next inning. So we'll see. Bullpen is working for the Astros though. 1-3 is a 4. 1-6 is a 4. It's an 8 in column 1. And that's a pop up to third. So a big out there for out number 2. And now here's a Willie Davis. 1-2 is a 2. 1-1 is a 2. That's a strikeout, and the inning is over. So that's going to do it for Mr. Ken Forsch. He goes 8 innings. And certainly throwing shutout ball. Definitely represented himself very well. Let's see how many hits he gave up and walks and strikeouts. Now the replay score sheet, my only beef is they got the walks and the strikeouts backwards. But what are you going to do? All right, so hits for the Cardinals. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got him for 5 hits unofficially. I'm doing it kind of fast. Walks. Let's see. He hit a batter, but he didn't walk anybody. So he hit a batter, but did not walk anyone. Check his strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got him 4 strikeouts unofficially. And now we got a pinch hitter, which is kind of odd since he was reached base twice, but you know, that's just an anomaly. So you're going to play the percentages here. And Bob Forsch still out there. So let's see who the Astros are going to use as a pinch hitter. Who do they have on their bench? They're going to use Wilbur Howard. Wilbur Howard is going to pinch hit. Now, I did not get a chance to try to go to the computer and see who was on the roster on June 6th, so I'm just going with the guys that I had in the top of the stack, basically from the first week of the season. So that's who I'm going to use. Like I said, I don't know who they really were, so it's, you know, if Wilbur Howard wasn't on the team at this point in time, I can't help that. I don't have that information in front of me. 3-5 for Howard. 3-5 is a 3. 3-3 is a 2. It's total of 5 in column 3, and that's a short fly out to left. So Howard is out of there. Had he reached, there was an asterisk there, he would have had a chance to steal. But he did not reach, so 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Greg Gross. Somebody's got to score a run here. 2-6, we're back to the shaded area again. That's a 1 right now, but see if that changes. Column 2, number 5. Dice roll of a 5 makes that a 3. So that's going to be a little bit more problematic. This raised number is now a 3. The blue die is a 2, which means we're checking Lou Brock, the left fielder, and he is a 3. So he's not greater than 3, so he will not catch this. The ballpark gave the hit to Greg Gross on that one. So that will drop in for a base hit. And it says here, runners advance 1 base, 2 bases if their speed is higher than the outfielder's arm. Well, Gross, his speed is a 4, and the outfield arm is only a 2. So the way I'm reading this, well, this says runners advance 1 base, 2 bases if their speed is higher than them. It didn't say the batter, so I'm just going to take it as still a single. I think I misread that. You would have to be a base runner that was already on base to advance like that. So it's just going to be a single. No provision for extra bases. Here's Metzger. 2 1's a 36, 2 5 is a 4, that's a 40 in column 2. And it's a ground out short to first with the runner advancing. Again, back in that little injury section, but we're not doing injuries. So 2 down now for Cesar Cedeno. Bob Forsch trying to get through 8 innings, just like his brother did. 2-2 though, he's going to get stung. 2-2 is an 11, that's going to be a base hit. 2-1 is a 3, it's a 14. A 14 is a single to center field. Runner advances 1 base. With 2 bases, runner on second base scores. So since Gross was on second base, he will score. And just like that, Cesar Cedeno, RBI single, puts the Astros up 1-0. And that's going to be it for Bob Forsch. He gave up the run, lost the shutout, so he's going to have to come out. And the Cardinals will have to bring in a new pitcher. Now, Bob Forsch ended up going 7 2/3 innings. Right now, he's responsible for 1 run, but that could go up. And since I would not normally do this, but since it's a one-off, we'll bring in their closer, Al Raboski, the Mad Hungarian. He will come in to pitch, facing Bob Watson. So Raboski doing his little routine behind the mound, psyching himself up. And he's going to be facing Bob Watson, runner at first and 2 outs. Raboski to Watson. 4-2. 4-2 is a 2. 4-5 is a C6. See, now this is interesting because Al Raboski is a fly ball pitcher. So when you get the results of a ground ball and we hit the 2 or the 5 here, that means we shift to column 6. So that means Bob Watson shifts to column 6 as well. So the 4 that was a 3 there, it now becomes a 7. And if we look over here, the 4-5 now becomes a 6-5. That's a 1. So that's a total of 8 in column 6, and that is a base hit to left field and a 1 base advancement. So Brock will stop at second base. But I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong spot here, aren't I? Down here. Duh. Bob Watson's the one batting. He singles, and Cedeno stops at second. Got a little confused there. All right, now with 2 outs and 2 on, Milt May, the catcher. This time you get a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Raboski. So let me make sure I put the note here that Raboski started there. All right, so Raboski needs to get this out. Keep the score where it is. 5-1's a 2, 5-4 is a 2. That's a total of 4. And a 4 is a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Raboski pitches a third of an inning to get the Cardinals off the field with just the 1 run allowed. But the Stros get that 1 run and they lead it 1-0. We go to the top of the 9th. And since Forsch was pinch hit for, we got to have a new pitcher. So the new pitcher for the Astros, and oddly enough, Ken Forsch did have 2 saves on the 75 season, but they also had other people that had saves in 1975. Let's see who they might go to here. Who do we have? We have Mike Cosgrove has 5 saves. So that's who they're going to go to, is Mike Cosgrove. So Cosgrove, the lefty, is on to try to save it. And it's kind of interesting because his name sort of reminds me of Cosmos in the Star Wars theme. So Cosgrove. Let me fix that little blunder I had there. All right, so we're ready to start the top of the 9th. It'll be Cosgrove facing Reggie Smith, Ted Simmons, and Bake McBride. 2 switch hitters and a lefty. So there's Cosgrove to Reggie Smith. It's a 4-3. That's a 17. 4-1 is the first baseman Watson, who's a 3. That's a 20. And again, with a 20, we're going to, and I'll show it this time. I hadn't shown it before. But when you get a 20, you go to the umpire chart, and when you get if it's a 1 or a 6, he's safe. If it's anything else, he's out. And a 21, it's reversed. So in this case, we're doing the 20. So if it's a 1 or a 6, then Smith will beat it out. Anything else, he is out of there. And he is out of there. So nice play. Watson was able to beat Reggie Smith to the bag. And there's 1 away for Ted Simmons. So Simmons. 6-4 is a 60. That could be trouble for Cosgrove. That's a 60. A 1 is a 1. It's a 61. 61 is a double into the corner. So hold the phone. Ted Simmons just doubles. He now represents the tying run for the Cardinals. And Bake McBride steps to the plate. There's a reason why in 1975 the Astros were 64-97, as they would blow games like this. So let's see if they can hold on. It's a 3-1, which is in the ballpark shaded area. Column 3, so we'll go to the ballpark column 3, which is down here at the bottom. Right now the number is a 4, but we're going to roll and see if that changes. That's a 3, so that becomes a 3 now. Since the die result was a 3, that becomes a 3. So this 4 is now a 3, and the 3-1 on Cosgrove is a 1, total of 4. And a 4 in column 3 is a short fly to right field. So that's 2 down. Simmons had to hold, and now last chance, it's Ken Reitz. Ken Reitz, the last chance for the Cardinals against Cosgrove. 3-6, and wouldn't you know, he found a left-right split, the last batter of the game potentially, and he finds that 3-6 split, which is a base hit, 2-base advancement, and we got a tie ball game. So the Astros did not bring in the righty. They kept with Cosgrove, and it backfired on them, as that's a base hit. So tie ball game. We're going to the bottom of the ninth for sure. Here's Mario Guerrero. 2-4 for Guerrero is a 50. 2-3 is a 4 with a W on it. So that's a 54 in column 2. And a 54 in column 2 is a ground out to second. And that's going to end the inning. But the Cardinals pick up the run, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. Actually, Roboski's going to stay in there because he was going to be pinch hit for the next at bat, but didn't come around. So Roboski's going to stay in the game. Cosgrove with the blown save, so neither Forsch is going to factor in the decision. The Forsch was not with either one of them in that case, or at least not with the bullpen. So here's Roboski facing Jose Cruz. And we get a 2-3. 2-3 is a 16. 2-6, 1. It's a 17 in column 2. And that's a strikeout when the bases are empty. So Cruz is out of there. He's got the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. Here's Doug Rader. 4-5 is an 18. 4-3 is the third baseman, Reitz. Reitz is a 2. So that is a total of 20. And again, we're going back to the umpires. 1 to 6, or 1 or 6, he's safe. Anything else, he's out. And he's out. So nice play. Turned in there by Ken Reitz. 2 down and 1 batter away from extra innings. It's Tommy Helms. 3-1. 3-1 is a 4. 3-3 is a 1. It's a total of 5 in column 3, and that's a short fly to left. And we have extra innings here on May the 4th be with you. So extra frames we go. And now you wonder, is Cosgrove going to stay in there? I think he might, because he did start 3 games. He's got good fatigue. So he's going to stay in there. Now Roboski is the leadoff hitter scheduled, but he will be called back. So Roboski is going to be called back. We'll go to the Cardinal bench and see exactly who they have that they can use as a pinch hitter. And let's see here, with the lefty on the mound, they're going to try to find a right-hander. And trying to put in the knockout punch is Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson's going to pinch hit. Mike Tyson to pinch hit for Roboski here in the top of the 10th. So Cosgrove against Tyson, and it'll be Lou Brock top of the order after that. 1-3 is a 4. 1-6 is a 4. It's an 8. That's a pop out to the third baseman. So Tyson is retired. Back to the top of the order for Lou Brock. That's a 4-6. That's a 16. 4-4 is the shortstop, and that's Metzger, he's a 2. Total of 18 And with the infield back, that is simply going to be a ground out. So nice play there by Metzger. Gets the speedy Brock, 2 down. And here's Ted Sizemore. 2-2. 2-2 is an 11. That's going to be a base hit. 2-1 is a 4. It's a total of 15 in column 2. And that is a single to right field. So 2-out single for Sizemore. Brings up Willie Davis. Another lefty on lefty matchup here with Cosgrove. 2-2 again. That's another single. And again, we've got that 15 result. So that is a single. Runners advance 1 base with 2 outs. Runner on second scores. But the runner was not on second. He was on first. So it's first and second now with 2 outs. Normally he'd try to steal, but with the runner in front of him, he will not. So that plus sign means he would have had to try to steal, but that's not the case. Here's Reggie Smith. 4-4 is a 1. 4-5. Shortstop Metzger, he's a 2. It's a total of 3, and it's an easy ground out. So we go to the bottom of the 10th. Cosgrove will now be lifted for a pinch hitter. And we need a new Cardinal pitcher to come into the game. So we'll check and see who they have available in their bullpen that they might want to go to. Now we got Gross, Metzger, and Cedeno, and then some more right-handers following that. So they're going to go to, they are going to do what you hear sometimes around the holidays. They are going to get a Garmin. So Mike Garmin, see if he can point them in the right direction and keep them in the ball game. So Mike Garmin is on. Roboski goes an inning and a third. Cosgrove goes 2 innings. So now we need a pinch hitter for Cosgrove. So we'll look at the bench for the Astros and let's see who they might be using. They're going to use Enos Cabell. No, they need a lefty, don't they? Or they prefer a lefty, I guess. You know what? They're going to eschew that and just go with Enos Cabell anyway because he's a good hitter. So Enos Cabell is going to pinch hit. Enos Cabell will lead things off. It's also a pretty good runner if he reaches. So Cabell against Garmin. 1-5 is a 3. 1-3 is a 2. That's a 5. That's a strikeout. So Cabell fails in the pinch hitting role. Back to the top of the order for Greg Gross. Greg Gross, a 6-6. That's a 3. And a 6-1 is a 1. It's a total of 4 in column 6. And a 4 in column 6, I'll show it on the board here. A 4 in column 6 is a triple into the, whoops, you can't see it, can you? Anyway, I'm going to have to fold this up so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. Let's see. 2 through, there we go. 2 through 6 is a triple into the corner. So this was a total of, as we said, 6-6 was a 3 and 6-1 was a 1. That's a 4. So that falls in that 2 to 6 category. So it's a triple for Greg Gross. A 1-out triple. And now the Cardinals have to bring the infield in as the Astros have a chance to walk it off. Roger Metzger, the batter. Wonder if they might go to a pinch hitter for Metzger, because Metzger is 0 for 4, not very good. So they're going to go to Cliff Johnson. Cliff Johnson's going to hit for Metzger. And with 1 out, well, let's put the triple in for Gross first of all. Well, with 1 out, they're going to, with Johnson coming into pinch hit, they're going to intentionally walk Johnson because that's going to set up a double play. But now they have to face Cesar Cedeno and Bob Watson. So no easy task here. Infield is at double play depth though. 5-6 is a 3. 5-3 is a 2. It's a total of 5 in column number 5. And a 5 in column number 5 is grounder to third, but with runners on and first base open, score is a walk. Well, there is no first base open, so it won't be a walk. The infield was in. Let's see here. With the infield, it says out at first as lead runner holds unless forced. If forced, he and other runners advance 1 base. Okay, so the batter is going to be out, Cedeno, as third baseman Reeds checked the runner at third. Johnson will go to second, not that his run means anything. So second and third now with 2 outs. Had they been playing back, it would not have been a double play. It would have been a forced play. They would have tried for the double play, not gotten it, and the game would have been over. So now here's Bob Watson, but he's a .324 hitter, so they're going to intentionally walk him as well. So they're taking the chance that Garman will not be wild as he faces Milt May with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 5-3 is a 2. 5-3 is a 2. It's a total of 4 in column 5. And a 4 in column 5 is a ground out to short to end the inning. So a couple of well-placed intentional walks gets them around that. And now what we're going to have is Cliff Johnson's going to stay in the game to catch. And we're going to put a new shortstop right here in Milt May's spot. So Cliff Johnson will stay in to catch. And he will hit in that number 2 spot formerly held by Metzger. So let's get some of these duties out of the way. So we have Gross, Johnson, Cedeno, Watson, and now we need a new shortstop to take the place of the pinch hitter, the guy who get pinch hit for Milt May. And the shortstop's going to be Larry Milbourne. So Larry Milbourne, a switch hitting shortstop, will be in. Milbourne, not a very good fielder, but when you get to your bench on a lousy team, this can happen. But they went for it and came up a little short, but you can't blame them for trying. All right, so we go to the 11th, and we need a new pitcher for the Astros, and we'll see who that's going to be. It is going to be, see, Simmons is going to lead off for the Cardinals. It'll be Simmons, McBride, and Reitz. So when we look to the Astro bullpen, we are looking for, or looking at, we're going to look to another brother, Joe Niekro. So Joe Niekro is on. Joe Niekro, the knuckleballer. So Joe Niekro is on. And he can obviously pitch a couple of innings if need be. He's got that fatigue to do that. He's a starter slash reliever. Started 4 games, relieved 36. All right, here's Ted Simmons to lead off the 11th. Still 1-1. 2-5. 2-5 is a 16. 2-4 is a 2. That's an 18. Column 2, number 18 is a fly to center. And there's one away. This game may go on a while because the runs are at a premium. Here is McBride. 5-2 is a 1. 5-3 is a 3. It's a total of 4. And a 4 in column 5 is a ground ball to short. So that's 2 down. And that's going to bring up Ken Reitz. Reitz, 6-5 is a 31. 6-4 is a 1. It's a pop up to third, and the inning's over. So we go to the bottom of the 11th. Still no score. Still tied at 1, I should say. And Mike Garman still out there. He will pitch another inning. And he's going to be facing Jose Cruz to start the bottom of the 11th. Cruz had a rough day. He doubled to start his first at bat, but has struck out 3 times in a row since. 4-5 is a 4. 4-4 is the shortstop. That is Guerrero. He's a 2, so that's a total of 6. And it's an easy play for Guerrero. 1 away for Doug Rader. Rader, another 4-5, and that is an 18. 4-3 is the third baseman Reitz. He's a 2. That's a 20, which means we're going right back to the umpire. 1-6, he's safe. Anything else, he's out. And he's safe. Rader beat it out this time. That time the umpire says the ball didn't quite get there. So now here's Tommy Helms. And then we'll have a pinch hitter for Niekro. 2-1 is a 26. 2-1 is a 1. That's a 27. 27 in column 2 is a ground out catcher to first with the runner advancing. So it's 2-3 ground out for out number 2. And now the tying run is in scoring position with 2 outs. And we have to go to the bench again for the Astros. See who they have to pinch hit. And they're going to go to Ken Boswell. So Ken Boswell will pinch hit for the pitcher, Necro. So Boswell a chance to walk it off here in the bottom of the 11th against Mike Garman. 2-6, got an outside chance because we're doing the ballpark check. So if the ballpark number can change from that 1 up to maybe a 3 or 4, they've got a chance. It's a 2, so that means it's going to stay a 1, and that means that with the blue die of 6, that's going to make it the right fielder, and the right fielder Davis is a 4, much higher than a 1, so he makes the play, and the inning is over. So nothing doing the 10th or 11th. We go to the 12th, and we're going to need a new pitcher for the Stros. So we're definitely taxing the bench and the bullpens, and I may be using guys that weren't on the roster at the time. I don't know. It's possible. Like I said, I didn't write down what everybody had. So let's see here. We got Gross, Johnson. Okay, so they're there. Now we need a bullpen, and Mario Guerrero is going to lead off for the Cardinals. Garman's day is done. He's batting second this inning, so he'll get pinch hit for. But we need a new pitcher for the Astros, and it will be lefty Jim Crawford. So Jim Crawford is on. Left-hander, Jim Crawford. Necro only went the 1 because he got pinch hit for. So now Crawford will face Guerrero and then a pinch hitter, and then Lou Brock at the top of the 12th. 4-6 is a 1. 4-4 is the shortstop. Shortstop is Milbourne. He's a 4, but the 1 and the 4 is only a 5, which makes it an easy ground out. So Guerrero is gone. And now we'll go to the bench for the Cardinals. This is where you love this National League back and forth with all these pinch hitters. And they're going to bring in Keith Hernandez. I know it's lefty on lefty, but they're going to let Keith Hernandez hit. Rookie Keith Hernandez. 1-6, he's going to strike him out. So Hernandez out on strikes. So he fails. 2 outs in the 12th. Nobody on. And here's Lou Brock. And the Cardinals will need a new pitcher in the bottom of the 12th. 4-2 is a 5. 4-5 is the shortstop, which again is Milbourne. He's a 4, makes a total of 9. But with the infield back, a 9 is simply a ground out. Anything under 11 is simply a ground out. So it's a good play. And the inning's over. So we go to the bottom of the 12th, and my score sheet's about to run out. And now we need a new pitcher for the Cardinals, as Crawford did his job. For the Astros, at the top of the order, Gross, Johnson, and Cedeno. And for the Cardinals, they will turn to Elias Sosa. So Elias Sosa will be on. Elias Sosa. And he may be in Atlanta by this point. I don't know. It says St. Louis/Atlanta, but he's the first one I came across, so I'm just going to use him. 5-4 for Gross is a 20. I'm sorry, 5-4 is a 2. 5-5 is a 4. It's a total of 6 in column 5. And a 6 in column 5 says, based on balls with runner on first only or bases full, count as 2 balls. Well, that's not the case. So Greg Gross is going to draw a leadoff walk. And now Cliff Johnson is up. Normally a bunt situation, but Cliff Johnson, obviously not a good bunter. Let him swing away. 6-2 is a 10. 6-1 is a 1. It's a total of 11. 11 in column 6, and I'll show this result. And 11 in column 6 has an asterisk right here. And we come over here to this home run chance on the column 11. If we roll a 6, it's a walk-off home run. If we roll a 1 through 5, it's a single. So if we can roll a 6 here, the game will be over on a walk-off. And it's not, it's a single. And I believe it's just one base advancement. So it's a single that's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out. And that will bring up Cesar Cedeno. So Cedeno, he and Watson have the chance to finish this thing off. 4-5 is a 1. 4-1 is the first baseman. First baseman is Reggie Smith, and Smith is a 3. Total 4 in column 4 with the infield halfway. And that's going to be a double play. So it's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. Maybe should have bunted there. 2 outs. Gross does go to third, but now there's 2 outs. It's going to need a 2-out hit from Bob Watson. Now he was intentionally walked last time, so I figure why not do it again? His run doesn't mean anything. And here's Larry Milbourne. He's the new shortstop. See if he can be a hero here. 6-3, not this time. 6-3 is a 31. 6-1 is a 1. It's 32. Let's pop up to third. And the inning's over. So after 12 complete, we still have a 1-1 game. And I'm at 61 minutes, so I think I'm going to have to go ahead and just finish it off. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that long game of extra innings with the Star Wars theme and the May the Forsch be with you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that and got to see Replay Baseball in action, and hopefully you will enjoy your Star Wars day today. I'm filming this on the 3rd, but this is going to be shown on the 4th, and haven't decided if I'm doing a premiere yet or not, but if I do a premiere, then of course you guys had over an hour to chat. So if not, that's okay. So until next time, hope you guys have a great Cinco de Mayo weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you all down the road.